Catalyst 2030 started life as a WhatsApp group among social entrepreneurs connecting to envision real transformational change. Launched at the World Economic Forum in January 2020, it's grown into a global movement accelerating change to ensure the SDGs are reached by 2030. Fueled by passion, our 550 members working in 175 countries have collectively put in an amazing 50,000 volunteer hours, touching the lives of 2 billion people. And we're driven by values, to which we hold ourselves accountable. 2020 was a busy year, co-creating 3 reports with partners and producing one of our own. Inviting high-level guests to participate in the Catalyzing Change campaign, hosting fireside chats and expert hours, which will be continuing in 2021. To celebrate our achievements, together we placed our supporters in the limelight with the first Catalyst 2030 Awards for Systemic Change. With the blessing of the Dalai Lama, we celebrated finalists and winners in the following categories. Special recognition for our early supporters, individual philanthropists, donor organizations, philanthropic intermediaries, corporate organizations, bi- and multilateral organizations, and 4 regional winners in the category of national governments. And now on to Catalyzing Change Week 2021. During this social entrepreneur-led event, we bring together diverse stakeholders in over 100 sessions to showcase their systems change efforts and the best practices that can accelerate our work in pursuit of ease.
Fantastic. I'll now like to hand over to Dr. Anto to lead the session. Dr. Anto? You may unmute yourself, please, Dr. Anto, just in case you haven't done that. I hope we haven't lost you. Dr. Anto? I think he might be having challenges with technology.
Connection issues, yeah.
He might have an issue with technology. Let's see if he joins us right back. But in the interim, I thought I might bring up something from Peace Channel's work that serves as a quick introduction to their work while we get Dr. Anto back. Oh, he's here. Dr. Anto, can you hear us?
Very good morning to you all. I'm very sorry, Mr. Faith. I thought our timing is different. I always have the program in the evening with the Catalyst. So I told all my faculty members and all my people to get ready. In the evening is our session. But unfortunately, this timing was, I'm completely sorry about it. And we'll begin our session. All my faculty members and others will join slowly.
That's great. We've got a fantastic audience, and everyone has shared what they're super excited about. Lots of people are interested in your work, and they're very excited to learn about your process and how we can bring this to life. So over to you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me, Mr.
Loud
Faith?
and clear. Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, fine. I'll be sharing the PowerPoint and the multimedia presentations and even the YouTube later. Let me just explain what we are doing and how the process of peace building among the children, youth, and the adult. Well, I am Father Dr. C.P. Anto, the founder, director of Peace Channel. It's a youth peace movement in the multicultural and religious background of Northeast India, and particularly in Nagaland. Nagaland is a small state with around 19 lakhs people and with 16,000 square kilometer. And dominated by the Christians, and we too have Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Jains, and this is in the context of this that we have started this peace movement in 2005 in the southern part of India, and now this northeast India is also a conflict-ridden region of India. It's one of the longest insurgence movements that has been fought in the contest for last 60 to 75 years with the government of India and the indigenous people of Nagaland and Northeast India in an inclusive level. So in this context of conflict and the context of multi-religious and the cultural context of Northeast India, Peace Channel, a youth peace movement was launched in 2005, and we started with the peace clubs among the children. And today it has grown into almost all the states of Northeast India, and we have over 1.5 lakhs children and youth part of this movement. And the process, we have 4 activities, major activities under these projects. And presently we are supported by Misio and Kinder Mission. It's all from Europe, Germany, and they have been supporting this noble cause for last 3 to 7 years. Now the present statistics, before I commence, I would like to just give the statistics, what we are doing and how this peace process is done with the children, youth and adult respectively. The point number 1, we are working with nearly 250 schools in Nagaland and northeastern part of India, promoting and capacitating children to live in peace and harmony with families and with the institutions wherever they are. And in order to do this peace building process among the children, we have 3 days of a capacity building program on different modules. That some of the modules includes non-violence, leadership, proactive life skill trainings, confidence development, goal setting. These are the few training programs we include in the children's capacity building programs. We too have the problem solving skill because it is practiced on a daily basis when the peace clubs come together. So as of now, we have 250 schools and a few communities and covering over 1.5 lakhs children last 10 years in the context of Nagaland and Northeast India, and few places in the southern part of India and northern part of India. Now the process, I wanted to show in the PowerPoint, but unfortunately I'm using the mobile. I could not get connected. I will be sharing with you all the things little later. So the first part, we train the students for 3 days in the respective schools, respective communities and organizations where they are associated in the hostels, what I mean. And after having trained them for capacity building, we allow them to practice peace celebration in the multicultural, religious and tribal context of Northeast India. And this peace celebration is the method in which we follow the peace building process. Once the capacity building is done, the first phase for 3 days, then we continue after 4 months, another level, then the third level. So within a year, the children are capacitated on 3 levels covering 15 modules that we are scientifically prepared for and testing last 15 years. And once that is done, the peace celebration is the method that we promote peace among the children. That is, first we introduce the 7-step method, we call it. That is, first we introduce the peace club members. Then we try to discuss the issues what they face in the families, in the institutions or in the neighborhood, what is observed, what is experienced, and what is shared by the members. And here we follow the method of information, formation, and transformation. Information is informing what is happening to the society, and formation is a capacity building program, and as well as the peace celebration through which they form to be the peace club members and peace promoters in the families and institutions. And the transformation is the change that they experience in the personal life. So we train them on capacity building. Then the peace celebration is the continuous process. They come together every week, once in a week, to do this peace celebration. So once they are introduced and once they understand the problem that they need to address, then the third step is they have the input session on the particular issue. Somebody, the teacher animator or the peace club leaders, they brief the issue that they face. Then they discuss. Then they clarify, rectify, and resolve with some brainstorming ideas. And we have the 7th step that we follow, and they come to a resolution at the end of this peace celebration. Then each peace celebration carries a problem that need to be addressed in the community or in the schools or in the friend circle, what is observed, experienced, or shared by the members. So these 7 steps conclude with a prayer and a pledge, peace pledge, and action plan and evaluation. So they will decide when to do, where to do, how to do, who will do. This will be decided at the end of the peace celebration. This is a process that we do among the children in the schools. Just one of my faculty members will be explaining in detail the within a few minutes. That is a peace celebration that we do among the children, and children here are capacitated to love different cultures, different religions, different persons with the differences. And here the differences are accepted in order to enhance commonality of understanding the other person's perspective and the other person's views. So here we follow the 7 well-being. That is the ultimate thing that we teach to the students. That the physical well-being, intellectual well-being, emotional well-being. Then we come to the spiritual well-being, environmental well-being, and the community well-being. Then lastly, we also stress upon the individual, where the person is the family well-being, where we will be focusing on the peoples to live in peace and making peace with the family members and also institutions where they are. Now, one of the action plan that we do it with the children is call for peace campaign, one of the major activities. Now, where the children face problems, maybe the child is beaten up by the parents in the neighborhood or in the school, or in the relative's house. The children take initiative to knock at the door or use the calling bell and try to distract the parents or the people those are inside the family, and ask for maybe some salt or sugar or pen or a book just to distract. And that is the method that we use in order to disrupt the conflict where the children are faced. And we ask for a book or pen or some activities that some things that the children require that moment. So the parent who is beating the child or scolding the child is immediately stops by intervening and to help the child who has come to seek the help. So that way we resolve the issues and make the parents to interact with the child to get the book or pen or salt or pencil. So that way we try to resolve one of the methods that we are using. We use a number of methods in order to bring immediate solution to the conflict situation. Then the second level that we are looking at it, the peer mediation. that is practiced among the youth in the colleges and the universities. Here we form them into peer mediation forums, and we have the 3 days of first level of capacity building program. Then after having given this capacity building program on 15 to 20 modules, these youth are brought together under the forum. It can be in the classroom level, it can be the institutional level. Now we are working with the classroom level so that all the problems of the youth that they face in the institution can be resolved by themselves by following this peer mediation forum. Are you with me? Can you hear me, Mr. Faith?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just giving an introduction, and the faculty members will follow after that, and we can have an interactive session. This peer mediation forum, we have worked last 6 years. We started with our own institution here in Northeast India, and we tested this method and we took it outside to other colleges and universities. Now here we try to understand the problems and issues of the youth in the colleges and the communities. Here we have the discussion. After discussion, we follow the 7 method of processing the problem and resolving the problem, as we did it with the children in the schools. That is called a peace celebration. That is a method that we use. But in the colleges and universities with the youth, we use it peer mediation forum. In the peer mediation, we follow the youth who are capacitated for 3 days. That is, we are expecting 60 hours of training. That is, and the university is planning to give the certificate. We applied for the university certificate, and which will be approved soon. We already presented the syllabus and syllabus for the certificate programs and diploma programs. So it will be certified by the university, the youth to get involved with the peer mediation forum. So in the peer mediation forum, we follow 7 methods, 7 steps. First one is we discuss the issue that the youth experience in the community or in the neighborhood or in the universities or colleges. Having discussed, they try to clarify the second steps. We clarify the issues which is to be taken, which is not to be taken, and according to the priority, we take the issue. And once this clarification and fix the issue, we try to find out the both sides of the conflict, both the parties that who are involved. And once we understand and study about the conflict by the peace club members or the peer mediation team, they try to rectify the conflict. So first one is discussion, clarification. Now we have the third step, rectify the conflict, and listening to both sides, we rectify the conflict, and we come to the resolution. Brainstorming and resolution is a fourth step. We resolve the issue that the maybe the individuals or the group or the inter-class level or inter-college level that issues are faced are resolved through the discussion and clarification and rectification. Having resolved, then we are the next step. We try to understand the process, how it went. That we do the evaluation, and we do the action plan. Who will do, what will be done, and when will be done, how it will be done in the 7th step. That is how we promote peer mediation, processing of peace building among the youth and children in the schools and colleges respectively. And the third model that we are working with is the peace forums. We have nearly 25 to 30 peace forums working, functional peace forums, where interreligious, ecumenical, community leaders are come together to form them into these peace forums. These peace forums, the functional method of peace forum is, again, we follow the 7 steps of a peer mediation, and the peace forum members are capacitated for 3 days in the first level, the second level another 3 days, and another 3 days the third level. This is the 3 levels we capacitate the members, and we certify them, and they carry out the activities in the peace forum, resolving and intervening and preventing conflict. These are all professionals. They are all leaders who are working together to resolve the issue. And we follow the same method. The problem that we face or experience or shared by members, or that is experienced by the people in the neighborhood, is brought into the peace forum to discuss this. And once the discussion is done, they try to fix the problem, which problem should be taken among many or a couple of them. Then they clarify why we take this issue and not that issue. Among the peace forum members themselves, they clarify and they take the issue. Then they try to rectify the process and resolve the issue. Then we have the evaluation and the transformation, that is the action plan. That we have the same method that we follow in the peer mediation as we do it in the peace forum too. Here the primary concern is to prevent all forms of conflict in the communities, prevent all forms of conflict, and also intervene in the conflict. That is the primary concern that the peace forum members have to intervene. Now, some of the success stories that we have. Peace Club, we have number of students have intervened in the families and the schools to resolve the issues. One of my faculty members will be taking this session. If the time permits, she will be sharing that the success stories, how this process is accomplished in a scientific manner. And in the peer mediation forum, we have youth getting into communities. We have youth getting into the college, university conflicts, and trying to resolve the issues by themselves by following the 7 steps. And we have number of issues, interreligious, community issues, interstate issues, and also institutional conflict have been resolved through peace forum. Once again, thank you so much. I stop here. I will be very happy to take some questions. And my faculty members, other staff members are also there. Miss Gugu Heralu, she is a trainer, and she is also the animator of the staff in the Peace channel. We have nearly 23 staff members working in different districts and the states of Northeast India. And Miss Garol Lotha, she is our another trainer. She will be also be taking Peace Club and peer mediation in a scientific method, that how we are promoting peace if the time permits. And I stop here. Once again, thank you so much, Catalyst 2030. We are so privileged, and my staff members and members are excited to learn more and more about this peace building. And we follow the UN SDG, the 16th and 3, 4, 5, and 16. These are the 4 SDGs we follow in the Peace channel. And Peace channel has been working last 17 years, and we are trying to bring out some models. It is not the best model. We are striving with the club members, peer mediation, and peace forum members, how to enhance and standardize the method and process in the best way possible. And we are also very happy to take your suggestions and how we can do and learn from you how you are doing in the different parts of the world. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Faith. And sorry once again for this delay and confusion that we created. My staff, they have come signed in, and they will be helping the process. Thank you so much. I'll be very happy to take some questions.
Yes, I'm sure we've got lots of questions and contributions to come through, especially from others who are working in a similar field. I'm sure Pamela is going to have a question or two for you. But fantastic introduction to your work. And I'll just shoot the first one to you actually before, as we create space for others to come through with questions. I'm wondering if you could give a scenario, an example of one of the conflicts that have been resolved through this process, either at the children's level or at the university level or the peace forum level with the adults. Can you contextualize what's one example of a crisis that you've helped to resolve through this process?
Okay, that's a very good question. And now I would like to take one issue that recently happened in one of the schools of our, one of the schools which it is situated in Dimapur. And there was an issue with the parents and the students and parents clubbed together against the management. And this issue was referred to Peace Channel, our movement. Just a minute. Okay, I'm getting connected now. Okay, sorry for that interruption. And this issue was brought to our concern to intervene. So we met the both parties separately, the school management, the school principal, and the people who are involved there, and also the people, those who are outside, that is the students, and also the parents and parents body. The issue has become so serious, and it need to be, they are planning to close down the institute, but by the grace of God, we were aware of it, and we also expressed our willingness to intervene. And what we did, following these 7 steps, we separately met the people together, the students forum as students as well as the parents body separately, and try to understand the issue, their perspective. Then we moved to the management and try to understand the issue, their perspective, and try to blend it together. And we also seek their opinions and suggestions how to resolve this issue. Both the parties wanted to resolve this issue. That was a very good positive sign that we obtained from these both parties. So we brought, having listened and studied and analyzed the situation and the conflict very well, our team members, elders, along with me, we brought both parties together. We did our prayer, and that is also very important. Though they belong to different religions and communities, but a prayer brings a kind of positive vibration. That is what we believe, and it brings a kind of positive vibration among the listeners and participants. And once that is done, we allowed the discussion to process with the ground rules. We fixed the ground rules, and they all abide by the ground rules. Once the ground rules are settled and agreed upon, we told we used that Edward Bruno's the 5 caps method. That is the process. We did not share with them, but we used that method. That is, each party, the victim and victimized, both parties were asked to share their experience on this conflict. And that was in the initial stage. We used that the red cap. Edward Bruno uses that red cap. That is the hurt memories. And the red, once the red cap is used, the second cap is the black, which is the killing, hurt, and all those that is deep rooted, is also being expressed. But the ground rules are repeatedly told that we need to listen, both parties. Then the third cap that we use is the green cap. How do we need to get out of this issue? Both the parties are given suggestions, opinions, and how we need to move out of this contest. Then we came to the blue cap, sky's the limit. Get out of the contest, get out of the conflict, to understand the conflict better. And then we came to the resolution using that method of white cap, resolve the issue. It happened maybe 1.5 years back, and we resolved the issue using this Edward Bruno's cap method as well as our 7 method of peace process. Yes, Faith. And we fantastic. Came out, and it's once and for all, it is settled, and we follow it up. That it is settled once and for all. So there is no, the organization took care of that, and we followed it for a couple of months, and things are moving very smoothly. There is one of the school examples I am sharing with you. Yeah.
Sure. Let's get Pamela in. I know her work at Bansuri
Yeah.
Foundation.
I just have one question when I'm listening to you, when I'm hearing you rather. Is listening one of the most important parts of your module or the 7 steps that you say? Is that the first and the most basic thing that you teach? Listening to each other?
Yes, ma'am. This one of the methods that we follow is listening, learning, and leading. Listening is one of the method. We did not explain all things in detail.
Yeah.
Listening
is it
is
a very crucial part of it?
Yes.
Is it a very
Very crucial part of listening. Active
And my
listening, ma'am.
second
Active
question
listening.
is that you had 3 different levels. You had the children, you had the parents, and you had the management. Which one was the easiest to bring together?
Ma'am, this was management was bit difficult because they have their own set of concerns and issues. The children and parents, children's organizations and the parents who are involved were easy to get because they want to settle it up because they are victim. They want to resume the activities in the particular school. They don't want to get out of it. So it was easy for us to connect with the parents and the students rather than the management. Ma'am. Thank you for the question. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's bring a few more questions in again to make that transition. I'll ask one more. Dr. Anto, I'm wondering, is there any conflict that your team has faced that this 7-step process has been insufficient in addressing? Have you experienced a situation in which you could not follow your process to arrive at the right conclusion?
We were intervening a conflict which is nearly 50-60 years old conflict in one of the villages, and we found that it is not very easy to come to a resolution which is transformative by following these 7 steps. So we kept on incorporating into the 7 steps lot of other components. This is 7 step is only the skeleton. And we now also we are keeping on watch how we can be a failure if we don't incorporate certain values, principles, and also the method that we use in following these 7 steps. This is only skeleton. Lot of materials have been incorporated in order to understand this conflict and to resolve this conflict. We have failed utterly in a 3-4 contest, to tell you very frankly. Negotiating with the communities, 2 communities, we found that this method did not work out. That was in 2008, 9, 10. We were complete, many places we have failed to come to a proper resolution. But now we learned by practicing it a number of times again and again and updating that method in a constant manner. Now we have standardized at least 90%, I should say, Mr. Faith. So we are following this method. Definitely, when the new ideas, new things that is happening, we will be incorporating. Now, for example, we were not basing our analysis on strength. We never included in order to analyze the conflict, what is the strength of that individual or the strength of that community. So we incorporated that segment. We should base our analysis and even interpretation or the connecting or dividing factor should be based on the community strength or individual strength or organization strength. That plays very important component in resolving the issue for in a transformative manner. Otherwise, we know it's only conflict management or a conflict resolution. We don't move to the conflict transformation perspective. That education perspective is not enhanced. So therefore, we have incorporated this segment, that is analyzing the strength of the community, where we can make use of that strength in order to resolve the issue once and for all. Yeah.
That's great. Floor is open for 1 or 2 additional questions before we transition, I guess. I know Garol Lotha is on and might want to carry on. So I just want to give the space for one or two additional questions.
Faith, can I come in with another question?
Yes, please.
You're most welcome, ma'am.
I also wanted to ask you that can one work just with the children, or does it have to be a comprehensive? When you're working with children, you have to take into account the elders or the teachers or the parents. Can you work just with children in schools, or does it have to be an all-encompassing to really make the whole purpose of this peace building effective? How is it in your experience?
Very good question, ma'am. We were training in the children's program only children earlier, but now we change. We understood in order to build peace in the family, the parents and other siblings are also expected to get involved. So our online training programs last few months before, we start involving the siblings and also the parents to attend our training programs. So it has become a kind of inclusive approach in peace building, ma'am. And it is very essential. Children cannot build peace alone in the family. Now, for example, daddy and mommy, they are not talking with each other. And dysfunctional conflict. Conflict is always good because John Galtung says, and he has proved the conflict is always good, and the functional conflict brings a lot of changes and progress, development. And in the dysfunctional conflict, the children are not able to intervene. So the whole process of peace building, conflict resolution skills, and our method when we teach, we are also involving the parents and also the siblings, so that the whole family is getting actually involved in resolving the issue. And secondly, we also use peace table method in the families, so that the conflict between husband and wife or the parents and children resolved between the table, sitting together, setting ground rules and following the 7 methods, and they resolve the issue. Ma'am, it is inclusive, not separate.
Can I ask Kate? Kate, how easy would it be if you're working with children to get their parents and teachers also involved in a program? Do you think it's easy to do that?
I think it depends. I think for some children it is. We do have parents that are really involved. It's easier for us at the moment because we work with partner schools to get the teachers and the children together, not always the parents. So that is sometimes tricky, but we have been in the last sort of year really focusing on having open days and getting the parents involved, because a lot of times they're just not sure what's going on at these places. So I think, I mean, definitely teachers and students is easier just because it's a collective at one place that you can, you know, work with. And the parents are more sort of spread out, and some aren't living with parents. So that's sometimes a bit tricky, but I mean, I think it's definitely possible. It's just the parents would take a bit more effort.
Thank you for supplementing.
One question for you, Dr. Anto. I'm wondering, has there been a situation in which the community completely refused this, you know, overture, this attempt, right? Because when you want to bring peace, there might be 1 or 2 players and members of that community who are interested. But if there's so much resistance from other members of that community, whether it's at school level, at the university level, or, you know, society-wide level, have you encountered that? And if not, what's your approach to navigating that level of resistance?
Mr. Faith, that is the issue that we are facing today. It is not easy. The concept of peace is not well taken by communities or institutions or the universities, because they have set of programs already and they're worried to complete that syllabus and set of programs entrusted to the teachers by the management or by the university or the school board. And that is a major concern. And one of the communities, we were outrightly asked to leave the community, and one of my staff members about to be killed. It happened in Nagaland itself, in our own state. One of my staff about to be killed because they labeled her, instead of peace builder, devil worshippers. And it happened 4-5 years back. And we have not opened the peace program till today in that community. And we have almost all the districts except that community, because they resolved that the peace channel. Now people are realized that it should be promoted, and they are encouraging us to come back to the district. But it is not easy, as rightly you have mentioned. The communities reject, and also institutions and schools also reject our programs. But now our strategy is lobbying, meeting the people concerned personally and trying to convince them. And we have very competent faculty and staff members now who are convinced of their mission in order to bring peace in the Northeast India. To bring peace by 2030 in Nagaland. Nagaland, as I said, it's a conflict-ridden region, but it has a lot of resources, human resources, and youth and children and people are so loving, but they are victims of violence for many years. So PSAN is working with the communities, colleges, universities, and the children to bring peace in the state as a whole. We have got 12 states, districts here, and we are operating in almost all the districts except one or two because of the issues the community has raised. But we will be covering it up soon. But what I want to say, school level, college level, university level, community level, we have faced a lot of difficulties, but we have overcome most of the issues that we faced. Thank you.
Fantastic. Why don't we bring in Miss Garol Lotha? I assume she's
Garol
here as
Lotha,
well,
yes.
of your faculty.
Yeah.
Miss Garol, can you hear us? I'm not sure if you can hear us and if you're able to unmute.
She has to unmute herself.
Yeah, she needs to unmute herself and share.
Yeah. Garol, please unmute yourself. I'll just give her a call.
All right, why don't you do that? I was wondering for others who are on the call as well, is anyone who's able to share from your experiences, some of the challenges you faced, the kind of resistance that you've experienced in doing peace building work, and how do you navigate through those? Because I assume that's where it gets hardest for people. The intention to create a peace building process is not the hardest, but the resistance that you face and how you overcome that might pose far more challenges than you anticipated. So any thoughts at all will be welcome here.
And can I just kind of add another dimension to that question in terms of what are the challenges for the facilitators of the peace building process in terms of people who are driving that process and holding that space? What are the learnings that you have around what you need to do for yourself in order to make this a successful process?
That's great. And Kate or Pamela, do you feel able to share?
Yeah, I can just say that I've worked in my earlier days, my younger days, with children on a human values program where peace was a very important component with other values. And I found that children were very open, but the biggest problem was with the parents. And at the end of, say, 25 years of my experience, I felt that we should have worked a lot more with the parents. Because finally, the time you're spending with the children, if it's a 3-day program or even if it's a weekly program, but finally they go into a home where the adult has a very big influence, whether it's the teacher or the parent most of all. So, and you can't work directly with parents because you can't tell them you're going to teach them something. So it's got to be done in a very indirect way where you make it very interesting for the children so that then the parents get attracted. And I've been associated with this group in Japan, and I find they do a lot of essay writing and they do a lot of art through which the children are asked to express themselves on building peace in their communities and the world. And that's where parents come into it, because they want to see their kids doing something. So that's been my experience. That's one way of really setting the foundation.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you, Pamela. I think it's always easier to work with children because they're open and just want to keep doing. So we've done exactly the same. You know, we start with the children, and then it is about open days. And because as parents all over the world, you want to see your children succeeding and you want to see them celebrated. And I think that's a really interesting way to bring parents in. But we did exactly the same. In the beginning, you just want to work straight with the child. You think that's our client, but then you move them, and then you put them back into an environment that hasn't moved, and it just makes it more difficult for them. Another thing just that I picked up from earlier is that, you know, resistance is an interesting one, but, you know, we specifically started our programs parallel to the schooling system, so not to hit into the resistance immediately. And so once you create a critical mass, more and more people actually come to you to want to be part of it. So I think it's, again, you know, as this whole thing stands for, is don't wait till it's perfect, get started. And if you work well with a smaller group, others start to come, and you start to pull them in from that. But I agree with you, the level, it's very easy in your planning to say it's so much easier to work with children, and the parents are tricky. And so you have to find ways to bring them in. Even in the beginning, as you said, Pamela, that it's celebrating the children, seeing what they're doing, and then sort of adding learning that happens at those evenings or things. I think that's really important.
Because it's really about the role models that are available to children. That children emulate the role models that are there. So we need more and more of those adult role models.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was actually going to toss one more thing, and when Dr. Anto is able to share as well, I was wondering what are the sources of learning? What are the sources of influence for you as leaders in this space? Because you can't just go it alone on history and, you know, and gut. You have to navigate the space by drawing influences from other sources and equipping yourself so that you're better positioned to deal with these ongoing challenges. You know, so I'm wondering, where do you draw inspiration from? How do you equip yourself? How do you learn? What resources? I mean, Pamela, you referenced, you know, framework from Japan. You know, you referenced that you're getting inspiration from somewhere else. Where else do you draw your sources?
For me personally, it's been through my spiritual teacher. And so it's the methods that which I was guided to use were a lot of storytelling, because if you make it sound moralistic, it doesn't work. You know, you can't have it as a story and say it's, you know, you should be peaceful. You should. So when you do it through a story, children pick up the subtleties of the story rather than when you say it directly to them. And I used a lot of music, and also I used a lot of prayer from different faiths, and, you know, took very universal prayers which were not related to any particular form. And I thought that those really planted seeds in the children, because it was the words and it didn't matter. And then they would ask, oh, who said this? So, and also inspirational lives, and not necessarily lives of, you know, like 200 years ago, but in our modern times, because then children relate to that. Oh, there was a sportsman or a, you know, media person or somebody who they can relate. Oh, this person could do it, then I can do it. So I found that was a very encouraging. That was my inspiration.
Amazing. Anyone else want to jump in with all the sources?
Faith, yeah, this is Nadeem. Actually,
yes.
Dr. Anto has mentioned the word violence, in fact, in his community. I wonder actually that in terms of building peace circles, this violence is, what type of violence is this? Because children are not very much into the violence, I understand from his demographic. So what type of violence is this? It's a domestic violence, or it's a fight among communities, or some sort of other, what type of, it's a communal problems over there? So this is what my question is, that if you could explore a little bit more on that.
Sure thing. Dr. Anto, are you able to respond? on.
Can you repeat that question? Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah,
I
so,
got it a little bit. Yeah, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, Nadim's question really was about violence, and just wondering what kinds of conflicts exactly are children are you addressing in the kind of space in which you're working, because are these children exposed to violence, or are these communal issues, these family issues, or these school issues predominantly? Nadim, I hope I captured that correctly.
Yeah, okay. That's right.
Here, thank you for this very solid question. Exactly, we working with the children, it is the problem that we face, what the children face in the classroom with the students, among the colleagues and teacher and the student relationship, teacher and the student and the management issues, and the developmental programs in the school campus. These are the major issues the children take up in the peace celebration, and they discuss and resolve it by themselves. And we also have some issues the children exploited, the friends who are exploited by elders, and those issues are also brought in, and we have taken a legal action on that particular issues too. That is also brought in. And also the children, those who have got the depression level, the mental problems, those children, we handle them through counseling, and we refer these cases to the counselors. This is also a kind of peer friends come and tell us, and we intimate to the parents, and the peace channel movement, we help them together to resolve or fix their issues. That is with regard to the children concerned. Now the youth concern the same. It is mainly among the issue, the law affair. If the problems that they face in the stress level in the classroom because of the syllabus, because of the heavy load that is coming in, and the interpersonal issues, the group issues, group fight, all these issues have been dealt in the universities and college level. And also the classroom issues, the simple method that is irregularity in the classroom, punctuality in the classroom, sincerity among the members in the classroom, these are all discussed. Basic values have been discussed, and the basic principles that they expected to learn from each other is also discussed. And these are the basic things that they resolve in the colleges, communities, and the universities. Communities, of course, they take up the community issues, and they bring it to the peer mediation forum, and they discuss and resolve the issues. Same with the peace forums. Yeah, it is pertaining to that particular community, particular group of people, what is observed, what is shared, and what is experienced by the members. They bring it to the forum or club or the peer mediation session to resolve it. Thank you.
So it sounds like there's varying levels of conflicts. It begins from
yes.
Slightly manageable to super complex.
Correct.
Great. One more thing for your perspective, Dr. Anto. I'm wondering how much your religious background influences the approach that you take in your work, considering that you're working in a multicultural, multi-religious environment. How much of your approach is influenced by your religious background, and how do you have you experienced resistance based on religion, and how do other people of other religious faiths, how do they interact with your approach?
I should say it has both a positive and negative impact. A positive impact, we have been working for last 15 years. The government officials, the public, they all know what we are doing. So there is a brand label is created. So therefore we could influence the schools, colleges, universities to get this work done easily. At the same time, the non-Catholics, non-Christians can label, hey, come on, this is a Christian movement. But we are right from the beginning, we are stated it is not a Christian movement, it is not a religious movement. It's a secular in its approach, and the methodology that we follow also is purely secular. And therefore, the governing board members of Peace Channel is consist of all the religious leaders. We have our bishop, we have our Jain community leader, Hindu community leader, Muslim community leader, Sikh community leader, Buddhist community leader, and we constitute the governing board members of this Peace Channel, so that religious negativity can be brought it down, or level can be brought it down, and enhance the competency of this movement. And this, as a priest, I found it is easy to get into the life of people. It has helped me to get into the life of people easily without much prejudiced mind. So it is altruistic in nature. We don't ask anybody to give money, or we don't ask anybody to contribute, because money that comes in any training programs or anything that people look at it in a negative way, because we are not to develop that mindset of the people that we need to substantiate the program with the local communities. That is what the next step is going to be. So we are developing philanthropists from each schools, each communities to sustain the program, and looking at them, it's a sustainability in the days to come. So it is positive and negative. Some communities, it is very difficult to intervene, but some communities it's easy to get intervened. Thank you.
Perfect.
But almost all my staff members and also the members of the Peace Channel are not the Catholics. We have Muslims, we are Hindus, we are all the denominations and religious staff working under this project.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Why don't we begin to bring this to a close? I want to create space for a final 1 or 2 questions from anyone in the room. This has been a great introduction to your work, Dr. Anto. Really appreciate the perspectives that you've shared. And for everyone as well, Pamela, Kay, Nadine, it's been fantastic, getting your questions and your perspectives. But as we bring to a close, do we have a final question from anyone, final words of advice, final encouragement for anyone who's dipping their toes into the space and trying to do this work? Just how would you encourage us to keep going, especially when it gets difficult? Just Dr. Anto, perhaps we'll kick off with you and we'll do a quick round of all this. Just what will be your final words of recommendation for everyone on the call?
The biggest problem that we face is not lack of peace. I personally feel it is lack of love. If there is a sincere love, most of our problems can be resolved. And secondly, if you have a cause to stand by, like Paulo Coelho says in The Alchemist, if you have a dream, the whole universe will stand by you, conspire you to accomplish that dream. And that is typically happening in Nagaland or Northeast Indian region through this peace movement called Peace Channel. The idea is taken now by the people, and the people are conspiring to make it sustainable in the days to come. And thirdly, what I would like to say, peace is not easily taken by people. It is a most life, but it is not taken. We should promote it. Actively, we need to promote it, and we should help people to make their life more comfortable, more nice, more happy, more healthy. And as God said, blessed are those who make peace, they shall be called the children of God. And Peace Channel believes there is only one God and everybody is a children of same God. Whatever religion, whatever region, whatever the class, whatever the tribe they belong to, we all brothers and sisters. That is a fundamental teaching of Peace Channel. And that is the forefathers and the forerunners of Peace has promoted us. That is my message. Let us love. Let us give peace a chance. And let us make others' life more comfortable, more healthy, more peaceful. And let the peace begin from self and then to the universe. Inner peace to the outer peace. And thus, if you are working for peace, if you are making peace possible, universal level peace is possible. Let's begin in a small way. Thank you.
Very beautiful.
And once again, thank you, Catalyst.
Very well said. I don't want to miss out that question from Nadim in the chat. Just any quick statistics that you can put out about, you know, the success, to contextualize again, number of people you've worked with, number of cases resolved, just anything at all that you can give us statistics to situate your work.
I can just exact number. It is nearly, just 1 second. I already opened this. I'll just give you exact statistics. Just a minute.
Maybe while Dr. Anto is preparing, I can share one thing that I think is also very important, which is to reflect on what you bring to the situation. Sort of building a little bit on what Dr. Anto was saying, come with love and care and empathy and compassion. Just recognize what you are bringing into the space, because maybe if you're having a bad day or something, that can translate to others, and so it's very important to be aware of that.
Very well said. Very well said. Thank you. Pamela, you wanna share as well?
No, I have a line which I use, that as you uplift yourself, you can uplift those around you. But like what Anthony says, you're the focus, because then it's your vibration as well and your purpose, which becomes infectious, and people pick that up. So that's extremely important. Thank you, Anthony, for that.
Very well said. Dr. Anto, you can close for us with those numbers if you have them. Dr. Anto, do you have the numbers?
Yeah, this I'm just sharing with you. Yes.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, it is getting disconnected. I'm sorry, the network is pretty bad today. So we have 1 point that is in lakhs, 1.57, 1,57,000 children are trained by Peace Channel movement last 16 years. And we have nearly 1,340 to 50 teachers have been trained to animate the peace clubs in the schools and colleges. We have nearly 900 plus community religious leaders have been trained to be the peace builders in the conflict situation on dialogue, mediation, facilitation skills, and 700 to 800 that the training is going on. The peer mediation leaders have been trained to promote peace in the communities, the communities, colleges, and the universities. That is the statistics, and we have resolved the conflict. 13 to 14 of them resolved successfully, but we have failed in a 7 conflicts utterly, where we could not be conflict. That is the statistics as of now.
Very well shared. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Anto. I think for everyone, this has been an informative session. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to you, learning about your perspectives, and for everyone else who's participated as well in this session, thank you. Nadim, again, I know it's super early for you. It's probably just past 4 a.m. in Toronto. Thanks so much for joining. For everyone else who's been a part of this, I think the encouragement is to go on into society and take as much love as we can with us, bring our full selves, let's demonstrate care for people, and let's make the world a better place. For everyone in India, our thoughts and prayers are with you, hoping that this wave goes very quickly and that as many lives as possible are saved and families are restored. We'll continue to hold you all up as much as we can. Love from me to everyone. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Love from Nagaland Peace Channel. Thank you so much for listening.
I'll say love from India. Thank you so much, both of you, for leading the program so beautifully. Very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.